You know a little rain is not going to slow down the TST, where they've expanded the women's part of the TST to 16 teams, including the game right here on Field 3, as Bumpy Pitch FC will take on Reunion City Dallas. That's right, 16 teams now looking for that $1 million prize on the women's side, up from 8. 8 teams will advance to the knockout round, and the women just getting rolling earlier today with a couple games, and now the game we bring you. Let's break down the rules of the TST. Now in its third season, fascinating. 7v7, 2 20-minute halves, no offsides, no throw-ins, kick-ins only. The ball must be advanced every 8 seconds to try to increase the speed of the game, and every match ends with a goal. Target score time. How do you get to target score? If it's 2-1 after 40, the target is 3. First team to 3 celebrates. And every game ends with a goal, including the 2 on Sunday, with $1 million on the line. Let's get to work and show you the lineups for both teams. For Bumpy Pitch FC, Tegan Y in goal, Elise Evans, Genesee Puttingham, who's an assistant coach at Rice, coming out of retirement to see what she can do, Taylor Suarez, number 9, Shea Harvey, Sophia Wynn, and Katie Johnson, who won a national championship with Southern Cal back in 2016. Evan Osteen, part of the U.S. Women's Youth National Team, headed to play for Brian Penske in Florida State. Kenzie Tufts in there with Taylor Stuffs, Fernando Serrano, Maya Uola, and Hannah Barker. That is the starting lineup for Reunion City Dallas. I'm excited about this game as the longtime voice of the North Carolina Courage, and also knowing what Evan Osteen has done on the ECNL way, as she's been fantastic for Solar. She's going to head to Florida State and play. Meanwhile, as you see, Evan Osteen, big-time talent, folks, could be the future goalkeeper down the road of the U.S. national team. And great to see McCall Zerboni here, as she has appeared several times for the USA. She was a key part of multiple trophies for the North Carolina Courage, traded to Gotham, but back here now in retirement, and can't wait to see her on the field for Bumpy Pitch during her time with the North Carolina Courage. Proud to say, my favorite player. So here we go. Little bit of rain. There is some shaky weather in the area, but we're not going to think about that, and that's the last I'll talk about it. What we're going to do is enjoy the TST and the expanded field for the women, up from 8. Now, remember, the first year there was one women's team in the group of 32, Heather O'Reilly's team. Then the next year, 8 teams came in, and Heather O'Reilly's U.S. women's team won. Now there's 16. There's 48 on the men's side, looking for $1 million. 16 on the women's side, looking for $1 million on Sunday. The TST with target score and everything in between. Reunion City Dallas in the white and in the green, Bumpy Pitch. And we are rolling here from Field 3. The Pat McAfee Show is also rolling. It's been great to have him and his excitement. He's already called for this to be an annual event like Automatic. I support that. Reunion City out of Dallas. One back by Bumpy Pitch. Middle of the field here. Shea Harvey drops it. And off her line early is the youngster Osteen. Good one headed to Brian Penske and the Seminoles, who always challenge for national championships. A few of them won right here at the beautiful Wake Med Soccer Park. This field, Field 3, has really become, until Sunday, the marquee stadium. And a lot of that in part to the Pat McAfee Show. The setting is great. They've added undercover kind of cabana-style entertainment. I mean, the steps that the TST has made from the year 1 of this 2 years ago to now year 3, pretty special. Knocked away. That's Taylor Tufts. Kenzie and Taylor Tufts both getting the start for the Reunion City team. Ton of talent out of Dallas. A lot of players for Eric Bell and TCU, current and past players. That's a great thing about both the men's and the women's side. For those of you wondering, you can be a college player and play in this. The only thing that can't happen is your coach at your college can't coach you in this game. And then, of course, there's also rules about not being able to accept the prize money. Heading downhill, dropped over. First chance at a first goal, and just missing there is Taylor Tufts, but it was deflected in a corner kick coming. You see it develop. Bring the player over, drop it, and Taylor Tufts takes a look, and it was deflected before it got to the goalkeeper. Back in action, again in white. Reunion City, Dallas. Bumpy pitch. We'll knock it back. Bumpy pitch, getting ready to make a rotation of 3 or 4 players. Let's see if McCall Zerboni is in that. Here's a turnover, and then a shot. As both these teams look pretty solid as they get started. Women's Group D. We have already seen Hope Solo's team win 4-0. And then Streetball FC Canada beat Albion. That's in Group C as Solo FC took down the Speedy Turtles. So Group C action. Later today, Group A action. Angel City FC, Austin Rise FC, Process FC, and Heather O'Reilly's U.S. Women. Group B, the Drunken Monkeys, KC2, Trained FC, and Wrexham. And then this group here with Boca Dallas and NC Courage, the other 2 teams coming out of Group D with these 2 here, Bumpy Pitch FC and Reunion City FC. Reunion City out of Dallas is a team built on professionalism, passion, and a deep connection to the competitive Dallas soccer scene, which is big time. And take a look at MLS and NWSL rosters. They are loaded with players on the men and women's side from the Dallas area. Rooted in the city's dynamic soccer culture, they welcome driven players from diverse backgrounds who share their commitment to excellence both on and off the field. A good message from Reunion City, Dallas. Bumpy Pitch FC is expanding its presence as TST by entering a women's team for the first time. They also have a men's team known for its unique blend of experienced players and emerging talent. The club is bringing its signature flair and competitive spirit to the women's side. Just 4 minutes in. So far, Reunion City with the best chances. Bumpy Pitch has a couple of Southern Cal national champions under Kadani McAlpine, who is looking to win a national championship at Georgia and probably will. Katie Johnson, one of those. Allie Prysock, who had a great professional career, just recently retired. That's another great thing about the TST. You'll see a mixture of players coming out of retirement for one more run, and then even some youngsters that are still in high school that are out here. They slide it all the way over. Kayla Mills spent time in France. McCall Zerboni is out there wearing the 7 jersey. Brings back so many good memories as during her time with the North Carolina Courage, they were stacking trophies like books on a bookshelf. Gianna Riley, first time Bumpy Pitch has been inside the goal box. Subs coming off as Union City Dallas will take off Alessia Garcia. Spent some time at New Mexico and LSU. Into the game now is Faith George, who won a national championship during her ECNL days. She is the daughter to Sam George, who was a national champion at UCLA, playing with some of the greats like Kobe Jones and Brad Fido and Chris Henderson and Mike Lapper, and the list is endless. Sam George, a great person, has done a wonderful job with Faith. Faith had a great season for Southern Cal and still playing for Jane Alaconis, who is the head coach for the Trojans. He's done a really nice job at Southern Cal, now in the Big Ten. Long ball. Osteen. Here comes Reunion City Dallas, combining passes. Taylor Tufts had an opportunity earlier. Tufts stays with it, crosses, and it'll go to Tegan Y, the former Cal goalkeeper. Bumpy pitch with a lot of California talent. And, of course, Reunion City Dallas with a ton of Texas talent. Reunion City Dallas. See the patience here. Calls her Boney on the front of the line here. See what kind of pressure she puts on Steen. Drop back over to Hennessy. A.J. Hennessy. TCU, Eric Bell. Another one of my favorite people. Kind of tough. You put Kadani Galpine and Eric Bell in the room together. It's hard to tell who's cooler. Now out of the back. Bumpy pitch, putting some passes together. So Boney was in the box, but now will go out. Key part of the game is how you manage your players in and out. As this game flying along, you knew it would. The women play the game so well. The elevated levels at the youth level, phenomenal talent. They are ready, and you're seeing a ton now heading right to the pros, right out of high school as well. Point of that is you're going to see really good soccer, clean, and it's going to flow. Back across, diving punch out there by Y. Going the other way. This is a pretty good ball. Remember, no offside. Touchdown and shot over by Yuki Nagasato. Nagasato, pretty good chest and a pretty good turn. Nagasato, little blue in her hair, almost able to get the first goal of the game as we've got 8:34 remaining here in the first. Osteen bombs it long, and Y gets down. It has rained pretty much most of the day here, but these grass fields, you've heard Pat McAfee talk about them. I mean, he wants to play football on them. I mean, they are pristine. Comes back across. It's worth mentioning, this park opened in 2000 for the Carolina Courage out of the WUSA, the first iteration of a pro league. They were not a part of the WPS. Then when the NWSL started, the Western New York Flash won a championship, and Steve Malik bought the team and brought it here. And they went on to win several more championships with the name the North Carolina Courage. Added North End the second time around. Long ball, little trap, turn back, good pass. And Tegan Y saying, not in my house, not now. Keeping this one at zeros. Tegan Y has been ready. This is a really good ball over the top. A lovely touch, beautiful trap. Cut back, and then with the right foot. Got to protect that near post and still keep an eye on the far stick. And Y does it with her legs. Corner kick coming. Good look at Tegan Y. Cal, of course, when you think Cal and you love women's soccer, you got to think about Alex Morgan. All-time greats in their Hall of Fame. Speaking of all-time greats, Carly Lloyd expected to play this year for the U.S. women. It'd be hard for me not to peek over at that one before later today calling on the men's side a rematch of the 2017 men's NCAA National Championship game as Stanford and Indiana. Hoosier Army and Cardinal Legacy. Here's a shot deflected top of the box. Still no score. Plenty of time remaining here in this first half. Quick little touch by Pena. Another TCU. She goes by Oli. Full name Olivia, but everybody calls her Oli. Calling for it is Uloa, Texas State. Morales. Come all the way back to Evan Osteen. Dangerous opportunity, and once again, Y with the save. She has used her legs just as much as her hands as she continues to pitch the shutout. Another save coming for White. No 5-hole there. Good job just getting low, keeping her legs close together, and kick save will work. Look at Osteen, and close your eyes and think 5-6 years down the road, little red, white, and blue action potentially. Good size, long arms. But really the story in goal has been this player right here, Tegan Y. Cal, been phenomenal. Played back, top of the box. Good hustle back by Reunion City Dallas. Bumpy pitch in the green, Reunion City Dallas in the white. Group D action, that's right, 4 groups of 4. The top 2 of each group will advance to the knockout stage. Every team guaranteed to play 3. But if you can get yourselves in those top 2, you'll advance to the knockout stage, and then anything can happen as $1 million is waiting. And here's the thing, it really is waiting. They'll cut the checks right there. It's amazing to see. That's part of another joy I love of the TST. I love all of it. And if you haven't been, get here because it's worth it, folks. Cross midfield. Good work here from Bumpy pitch. A little bit too ambitious, though, as it'll go out of bounds. 14 minutes into the first half. They play 2 20-minute halves, and they don't mess about, as pretty much on the dot of the 20 minutes. They get to their halftime. They get back out there for their 20, then the break, and then we get to target score time. I feel like most of you know what that is, but I'll be reminding you several times. In fact, I'll do it now. With the score 0-0, if it remained this way all the way through the end of this first half and the second half, you would take the score, and here we go. Speaking of scores, decent opportunity. And we got a whistle first. You take the score, and in this case it's 0-0, or add 1. The target score would be 1. First team to 1 when we got to target score time. Perhaps maybe I'm a little early on that, but I feel like we should remind you so many times that every game ends with a goal. And new addition this year, an Adidas Golden Fleece scarf goes to the player that scores that target time goal, usually an interview that will hit social media. The social media team for the TST, and I'm even kind of an old-timer, I am blown away by it. I absolutely love it. They work tirelessly. The interviews are great. They're real-time, raw emotion of it all. It's fantastic. Here we go. Good pass in and picked up by Osteen, who always seems to be in the right position. It's rolling along to minute 16. Bumpy pitch, wins it, middle of the field. Shea Harvey on the turn, shot. Oh, one bounce. So hard to tell. We have seen so many shots, the men and the women, go off the crossbar, go down and bounce, and sometimes it's hard to tell whether it crossed the line or not. Nobody argued there, so clearly it didn't, but pretty good effort as they play this one forward, trying to find Bibi Brajic, the Serbian. Long ball over the top, looking for McCall Zerboni. Zerboni, known as a crunching holding mid, was so good during her time. As you take a look at Osteen, there she is, McCall Zerboni, that she was on Jill Ellis's radar to make the national team and then suffered a devastating elbow injury while the North Carolina Courage were winning an NWSL title and they were getting ready to name the roster for the World Cup. She would have been on that, really unlucky, and has had to overcome several fairly major injuries to get back out there. Kind of the epitome of the junkyard dog midfielder mentality that Courage team had. This one sent back across. That's Zerboni. Those kind of tackles from behind. Now Zerboni with the pressure. A little bit of a Ponce de Leon, ageless wonder, McCall Zerboni. Here comes a good opportunity here for Reunion City. Defended well. They still get it. Pass, and it looks like it kind of an own goal there as they caused enough trouble. They could easily give the goal based on the shot coming from Reunion City, but nonetheless it went off of a defender, then went off of Y, who has been great, but Reunion City Dallas now on the board. Now check this out. They find open. Remember, there's no offside. Yep, it went off the defender, so I think they will call that an own goal as it was not on frame. Decent little move. Great pass down near the end, and Taylor Tufts, who had the opportunity earlier, kind of gets credit, but it'll officially go down as an own goal. Unless my producer, Andrea tells me something different. This one from distance. There's McCall Zerboni headed out. Shot from distance, and Y was ready, good position. Talked about these fields out here. They're beautiful, and they can handle any amount of rain. And it's really hard to ever see standing water on any of these fields. I'm telling you, it's first class, and it's part of the reason why for several years, particularly when Bruce Arena was the top man of the U.S. World Cup team, he would make his final stop here at WakeMed Soccer Park before they would head over to Korea or Germany or wherever the World Cup was. Look at Osteen, and Osteen's got it. Brian Penske's got to be loving the fact that Evan Osteen is headed to Tallahassee. Osteen showing her feet right there. A little bit of trouble. She's out of the goal. Would have been a decent opportunity there for Gianna Riley to perhaps try to chip the goalie. Couldn't get the right angle on it. Reunion City Dallas with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of an own goal. Here's a shot from distance as we have reached the 20-minute mark, and we have reached the end of the first half. The goal coming from Taylor Tufts off of a defender to make it 1-0. The TST is rolling here in Cary, North Carolina, the WakeMed Soccer Park. Reunion City Dallas with a 1-0 lead over Bumpy Pitch FC. In Group D action of the 16-team field for the women's side, it's Reunion City Dallas with a 1-0 halftime lead over Bumpy Pitch FC. Reunion City Dallas outshot Bumpy Pitch FC 10-2, so perhaps it's fair they have the lead. As we take a look, it is going to be given to Taylor Tufts. She had a great opportunity earlier. Now watch this pass along the end line with no offside. She'll knock it. It'll go off the defender, then the goalkeeper, and they'll give Tufts credit for it. And I like that little generosity, and why not? As Tufts gets it, her teammates loves it. I mentioned the shot disparity, 10 shots for Reunion City Dallas, including multiple shots from Tufts. So she kind of earned that goal. 8 of them on frame. No shots on frame yet for Bumpy Pitch. Perhaps we'll see a little more activity in the second half. Bumpy Pitch back out there in their all green. Reunion City Dallas in their white uniforms with blue shorts. The women getting started today. Full day of men's action all day yesterday. All 7 fields were rolling all day long. And so far, for the most part, short of a kind of a random bizarre injury to the Reggae Rovers, everything's been pretty much on time despite the weather. As Reunion City Dallas trying to add to their 1-0 lead early on. Cleared out of there by Bumpy Pitch. Trapped down by Kenzie Tufts, who saw her sister Taylor score the only goal so far of the game. Little touch here now from Fernanda Serralano, who played for Necaxa. Just going to go out of bounds, and it'll be Faith George. Played up top. Picked up by Osteen. So Osteen stays out there. Tegan Y will make room for Shu Oba, as Shu Oba now in goal. Take a look here. Sometimes that ball comes in, can hit you any place and not feel too good, particularly on a rainy day. The good thing is it's a rainy, kind of steamy day, though, so all things considered, I think the players will tell you it's kind of fun to play in this weather. The fans might have a different perspective on it, but it doesn't look like it, as there's a lot of fans here, so that's good to see. Osteen showing off everything, including the long throw. They'll come back to Osteen. Serralano. Osteen with her right foot is looking to find Ashlyn Miller. Texas Longhorn. Texas coached by Ange Kelly. She's worth mentioning because she won a bunch of national championships down the road for University of North Carolina and Chapel Hill. Played with Mia Hamm and some of the all-time greats. Ange Kelly also played for Canada. Canada's got a pretty good team. Street Ball Canada. They actually beat the USA team last year to start the women's side of it. Here's a turnover, shot from distance. And the new goalkeeper, Shu Oba, who spent time at East Tennessee State and Mississippi, has spent time playing for the Japan national team as well. Angle pass, stepped in at the right time by Samantha St. Pierre from Flagler University. Couple step overs, decent little move. One extra pass, unselfish. Obu perhaps would have liked to collect that in this kind of weather where you can see she's wiping off the rain. So take a look at this pass. Obu, I've seen her a lot of times catch that ball, but this time knocked it down, and her team was there. Speaking of down, there's a player down on the field right now for Reunion City Dallas. And it looks to be A.J. Hennessy. She will know this stadium well, as during COVID, TCU made a big run, and all the games were played here at Wakeman Soccer Park, including on this exact field right here. Looks to be okay. See some of the scores. Wrexham and Old Train FC at zeros. Men's scores as well. Bumpy Pitch representing the men's side pretty well. The women's side here trailing 1-0. 4 minutes into the second half. Good hustle back by Oli Pena. A little bit of a slippage there from Shea Harvey. Osteen just oozes confidence. Osteen. Not a bad idea. She was trying to free up Maya Uola out of Texas State. Uloa, really good player. They're all good. Who am I kidding? They're all super talented. In fact, dare I say, if you really started to analyze each and every player and then took a look at the amount of trophies they've won at the youth level, high school level, college level, pro level, there'd be a whole lot of trophies to count up. No denying that women's soccer in this country, the United States, is a powerhouse, and now you've mixed in some big-time international players, and the game has been elevated overseas. Exciting times. Uloa. Can Bumpy Pitch find a little bit more of the ball? Shot and handled there by Obu. It's been impressive, Reunion City Dallas. They have fired double-digit shots, and most of them have been on frame. Took a little while to get back up, but Genesee is up. The assistant coach to Brian Lee at Rice. Brian Lee, quality human being. Genesee will play it back. It's got to be fun for her, as she's actually playing against some players that she'll coach against at the collegiate level, as there are several current college players on the field, including Faith George, who I told you about with Southern Cal. Elise Evans played at Stanford, Santa Clara, Southern Cal. A lot of big-time California, big-time colleges represented for Bumpy Pitch from the state of California. This is a good chance for McCall Zerboni! McCall Zerboni! And we're tied at ones. Highlight number 7, and she'll deliver 1-1. McCall Zerboni ready. Look at these touches. 5-hole. And we're tied. You can shoot all day, Bumpy Pitch says to Reunion City. But if you make a mistake, a player like McCall Zerboni, quality finish between the legs of the youngster Osteen, and we're tied at ones. McCall Zerboni used to call some games with the legendary Anson Dorrance, as he would join me in the booth for the North Carolina Courage games. And you think about all the players that Anson Dorrance have coached that have gone on to do great things, both at North Carolina and with the U.S. team. And he would say the same thing. McCall Zerboni, his favorite player on those great Courage teams. And here she is back where she had so many memories became a fan favorite, and delivers the equalizer. That's so important because when you get to target score time, you do not want to dig too deep of a hole. The good thing, though, is no matter how deep that hole is, you have a chance to win based on how it works. Now with a little momentum after the Zerboni goal, that's a good squared ball right in front. Little loose, bounce, it went off of Faith George. I have called Faith George goals for the ECNL Championships. I've called Faith George goals for Southern Cal against Purdue, and wouldn't be surprised if I called a Faith George goal here today. Big-time talent, already receiving Big Ten recognition as a youngster. She's a winner. Interesting development at home as well because her dad, Sam, a big-time Bruin, and she chose the Trojans. Ambitious ball there. It'll go out of bounds. Now both teams can kind of take a deep breath here. Also change some players. There's George headed out. Bumpy pitch. FC has equalized after a turnover. McCall Zerboni slides one between the legs of the talented Osteen to tie it up 1-1. There's Katie Johnson. Back over Osteen with a big-time save, diving to her right. Osteen parries it away. Quality save. Check out the form, folks, to you youngsters out there. It's your feet and your diving ability, your arms together, all of it. Look this from behind. Great shot from our outstanding crew here. And Osteen with a big-time save. Great look at it. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be a kick-in. Remember, no throw-ins, no offside, no sliding tackles. There's Johnson. Johnson, who was the MVP of that 2016 National Championship team for Southern Cal. And Johnson calling for it. Oh, Johnson! Wow, she almost, with the dummy, it almost fooled Osteen. I'm not sure if she meant to do that. Well, let's take a look. Long ball. Johnson is up there, almost right on cue. Decides not to hit it. And it goes by Osteen. Osteen clearly knew where she was, as she didn't even alligator arm it. Knew that it was not on frame. Certainly knew it better than I did. This one knocked out of bounds, and now it looks like it's going to be a corner kick. It is. Good bounce off the corner flag. Decent shot will lead to another corner kick. Shot coming from Ashlyn Miller, aforementioned Longhorn. Miller, goes short. Kind of an unforced turnover. And here's the speed now, a bumpy pitch. Bumpy pitch scored their first one on an unforced turnover, and that one almost worked as well as that one pings off a defender for Reunion City, then goes off the post and out of bounds for a corner kick. Bumpy pitch. Check this out. A little bit of back heel, knocked back in. And headed out here now back to live action. Obu comes all the way out. Good shield by Lauren Memley. Memley, another TCU grad. Calls her Boney, wins it. Bumpy pitch, has picked up the pace. Here's a great ball, one-on-one, and denied by Osteen. Evan Osteen was there. Taylor Suarez, part of the U17 and U20 program. Suarez, and yeah, Osteen was there, but Suarez just missed the target. Osteen did not touch it. But Osteen put enough pressure. This one goes from Osteen all the way to Obu. Second half has been even better than the first here. The score tied 1-1. That one's going to leak all the way through. Sophia Wynn, another Florida State Seminole, runs it down. Coming out of the game, there's Taylor Suarez. See Wrexham with the lead in women's Group B. 4 groups this time around. 16 women's teams entering the TST. 48 men's teams with 32 advancing to the knockout round. 8 will advance out of the 16 women's teams to the knockout rounds. Every team that enters plays at least 3 games. Five minutes remaining here in regulation. On the ground and finish. May have even been kind of a toe poke type goal. Effective here as Bumpy pitch outshot 10-2 in the first half. See Sophia Wynn, the Seminole, who I mentioned has won some national championships here at WakeMed Soccer Park. And Sophia Wynn has made it 2-1. Bumpy pitch on top. Let's take a look at how she finishes this one. Yeah, the inside of her boot, far side netting, cultured ball, and it's 2-1 Bumpy pitch FC on top. Good ball right back. Oh, and what an answer. Hello, Reunion City. A perfect pass and the perfect answer from Oli Pena, the TCU star. So Pena makes it 2-2 in a flash. Pena takes a look with her right foot, knows it's got to go side netting to get by Shu Obu. What a beautiful finish there from Pena. And we're tied at 2-2. George back into the game. George, the youngster, such a great leader, not afraid to boss the game in a very professional manner. There's George trying to get a touch on it. Does. Thought she had earned the corner kick. They'll say off of George, and it'll come back to Reunion City Dallas, who looks so comfortable. Now you see some concern there as we're tied 2-2s. Less concerned after the brilliant answer from Pena, as the lead was short-lived for Bumpy pitch. Obu replaced Y in goal. Sent across there by Ryder Ejeto, and it'll be a corner kick coming. Some changes as Barker will come on. Hannah Barker, number 23. More changes coming into the game. Shea Harvey, 15. Good size. Good player to bring in on a corner. They play it short. And it's going to stay with Bumpy pitch. What a game, 2-2. If it stays 2-2, it's pretty easy. You add 1 to the 2, 3 would be the target score. Bumpy pitch. Just outside the goal box. They bring it all the way back. Mills, wearing number 18, trying to run it down. There's Elise Evans from the Cardinal. Good ball forward, squared. The tracking back was Bumpy pitch. As we've got less than 2 minutes in regulation before we head to target score time. And you feel like these teams have figured a few things out. It takes a little while. I mean, it's unique. As I mentioned, Street Ball Canada knocking off USA in the first game last year, kind of sending shockwaves. And Heather O'Reilly and the team went to work on how they kind of manage the rotations. how they want to play with two in the back or one in the back, how they want to play their midfielders. And you feel like Bumpy Pitch did that in game here to get back into it. Tied at 2s. The rain continues to pour down, but fans are loving it. That is the beauty of the TST. Dropped in. Really good opportunity for Reunion City Dallas here to perhaps get one more here. There's about 30 seconds left before we go to target score time. They'll stay with Reunion City Dallas. It's worth reminding you that they outshot Bumpy Pitch 10-2 after the first half. Had that 1-0 lead on what was a generous goal given to Taylor Tufts. McCall Zerboni, the former North Carolina Courage star, with the equalizer. Then they took the lead. That's Katie Johnson, who just recently retired after a fairly long career in the NWSL. I mentioned she was the MVP. She actually came with Kadani McAlpine to the United Soccer Coaches Convention that January after winning the national championship and gave one of the most moving speeches along with the captain of Cool, Kadani McAlpine. Really impressive young woman. Little stumble there as they try to play it back to Riley. We feel like usually right at 40 they blow the whistle. This referee going to let them play a little longer. This is Johnson. Decent turn, and there it is. All right. So we're going to take a break. The target is set at 3 with your score, Bumpy Pitch 2 and Reunion City 2. The target score is set at 3, and we'll be back with more exciting action of the TST. Day 2 of the TST, and the target score time is set at 3 here in this one. Bumpy Pitch 2, Reunion City 2. The target score is set. You take the leading score, both teams with 2. You add 1. Target score is 3. First team to get that goal, the first goal, will win. Here's the deal. If they play 3 minutes and they haven't got the goal, they'll take a player off. And they'll play 3 more minutes, take another player off, and they'll keep going until they get down to 2v2 to find a winner. On the men's side, there have been different approaches where some of the teams that have made big runs, in fact, to be specific, Newtown Pride and La Bombonera, who won it in 23 and 24 respectively, they definitely have a plan where they'll go in delay mode, get it to 3v3 or 2v2, and then try to finish it. I don't think that's going to happen here. I feel like these teams are going to go for it, whether it's 7v7, 6v6, 5v5. I don't think you'll see any kind of stalling tactics. Good look there at the Reunion City Dallas huddle, including Evan Osteen, part of the Solar Soccer Club, headed to Florida State. There's Heather Gilchrist, part of the U.S. Under-20 team, and also another Seminole. There's McCall Zerboni. She was money for the North Carolina Courage. Finished her NWSL career with Gotham. She may not be done. You could see her potentially again. There's Memely. There's Tufts. She got credit for that first goal. Taylor Tufts playing with her sister Kenzie Tufts. Taylor spent time at Oklahoma, North Texas, Dallas Baptist. Her sister Kenzie also spent time at Dallas Baptist, where they played together. All right, here we go. The target score is set at 3. It's pretty simple. First team that scores gets the all-important 3 points here in Group D. Osteen, the turnover. She's got to get back. Quickly played forward. A little bit too long. Defensively there was Heather Gilchrist. They were trying to find Hannah Barker for Reunion City Dallas. Tegan Y, who's on the ball now, started the game. Did not play the second half as she made way for the Japanese national team goalkeeper, Obu. And Y is back in there. Here's a shot. Osteen with the save. Good idea what she's going to be bringing to the Florida State Seminoles. It's a long-distance shot on target. Osteen does a really good job. She was not going to be able to catch that, but deadens it enough where it wasn't going to be an easy rebound tap-in for Bumpy pitch. See McCall Zerboni leading that press. That's why I call her the ageless wonder. Reunion City. Back heel with a chance to win it. Did not get her body over the ball there was Maya Uloa from Texas State. Reunion City, Dallas. About a minute away from moving to 6v6. Kind of as expected, both these teams going for it, not thinking about whether it's 7v7 or 6v6. Bumpy pitch. Nice trap by Osteen. Osteen with a long throw. One back in the middle by Bumpy pitch. Tremendous job tracking back by Pena. Oli Pena, the former TCU star. Knocked out of bounds there by A.J. Hennessy, another TCU star. All right, so going to take a player off here now. And we'll go 6v6 to try to find a winner. The target is 3. Repetition is information. You score, you win with the targeted 3, 2-2 after the 40 minutes. Here's the kick in. Good ball, far side, and a turn for the win. Taylor Suarez and Bumpy pitch gets the 3. Taylor Suarez will receive the Adidas Golden Fleece scarf and 3 massive points. Bumpy pitch had just 2 shots in the first half, 10 for Union City Dallas. They make the adjustments, actually took a 1-1 tie, lost the lead, got it back, and Bumpy pitch will win it. And now everything but the Adidas Golden Fleece. Taylor Suarez spent time with the U17 and U20 U.S. teams. Group D action, Bumpy pitch with 3 big points. The kick in, serving almost as a corner, and a perfect ball on the platter, and Suarez doesn't bother taking a touch. Look at this. Great ball, far side. Osteen is out. Perfect finish, as not tracking back there just for a second was Uloa. And the celebration is on, and she'll take home the Adidas Golden Fleece. Congratulations to Taylor Suarez. I want to thank our wonderful crew, including Andrea Crawford, Dave and Michael here on audio as well. They are the 2 of the hardest working people in the business, and everybody else that is a part of this. For each and every one of them, all of you, I'm Dean Linke. Say congratulations to Bumpy pitch and Taylor Suarez wearing the Adidas Golden Fleece. Bumpy pitch gets the win and 3 points in Group D. And you saw it all right here with our coverage of the TST. Stay with us. More exciting action around the corner. Thank you for watching the TST. I'm Dean Linke. Say congratulations to McCall Zerboni and Bumpy pitch.